Awesome, awesome. Well, guess what? I want y'all to stand to your feet and give it up for a national executive. They call her Miss Travel Diva Monique, and a lot of people call her Mama because she's been the mama of the creators of wealth. And it is our plum pleasing pleasure to have her on this line, taken out of her busy schedule, a mother of about I don't know how many children, grandchildren, and all of that good stuff. But trust me, she just mama at the end of the day. And I'm gonna give a disclosure right now. If you hear anything out of line between the two of us, just know it's okay. Don't go and dime on us or go and tell the CEO. It's just us having a good time today. Is that all right? Mama D, Mama Travel Diva, Monique, can you hear me? Oh no. Let me see if we can go ahead and unmute her. Turn her voice on because she's a whole lot of noise. All right, let's try it again. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Kim?
I can hear you now. Yes, I can. How are you today?
I am fantastic. I'm excited, nervous, and all of the above, but I'm happy to be here.
All right, should we start off telling them what happens when you get nervous? Oh no, we're gonna leave that one alone.
Well, you know me, I'm transparent. But I do want to thank you for inviting me to speak with you guys today. And my prayer is that I say something to help somebody. I'm not one to be in the front of the room. And although a lot of people say I should be, I'm usually in a corner somewhere dancing and singing. So today I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and share a little bit with you guys. And I hope that I help someone. But before I get started, I would like to say thank you also to Bruce Bailey. I did not trick you into this opportunity. You did call me to try to recruit me to another opportunity, and when I found out what it was, I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." But once I showed you what we had, you were like, "Is this real?" Once I showed you it was real, you came onto my team and you told me that I better hold on to my seat, and that's exactly what happened. So again, I want to thank you and appreciate you, Regional Diamond Bruce Bailey.
Wow, 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 wow. All right, Mama Monique, let's start off. Let's start talking a little bit about your background. Basically, you've obviously been in the industry itself for several years. So I'm going to just step back for a minute. And if you could just share with each and every individual that's listening to us under the sound of our voice, let us know what is going on here.
Okay, well, basically, my background is travel. I've worked for many, many airlines. I started out with Piedmont Airlines in the 80s, and they were bought out by U.S. Air. And I worked for United, Atlantic Coast. We operated as United Express and Delta Connection. I worked for Independence Air and EOS Airlines. So needless to say, I have travel in my blood. Once you get travel in your blood, it's very, very difficult to get it out. Now, I work in a part-time basis, so every time the airlines got in trouble, they would start by furloughing their part-time employees. And that's what happened to me over and over and over again. I really had intentions on retiring from an airline because I wanted to retire with lifetime flying benefits. As a matter of fact, one of my team members that I used to work with, United Airlines, is in this room right now. Michael Bradley, thank you so much for joining me on the call. He joined me in vacation back in 2007 as well. And he did get to retire with lifetime flying benefits. So I wish that was me. But I've worked in several capacities for the airlines as far as customer service. I've worked in the call center, the recruitment coordinator. I've worked in our pass bureau, and just all through the airline, never as a flight attendant, but just in other capacities. And when I got to work, I would sign up for Crout. Crout, Crout, stands for Central Reservations Office Unpaid Time. I mean, I would sign up for Kraut as soon as I walked in the door. I wouldn't even go to my seat. I just wanted out of there. I was working for the airline for the flying benefits, and that's it. I signed up for Trout every day. So if it was slow, they would let you go home early, or if it was a slow period, they would let you take weeks off at a time without pay. This was when I was with Piedmont and US Air. When I worked for United, which is where I met Michael Bradley, um, we would have WAP, which is without pay. And I would sign up for WAP every single day, or I would do a swap. Well, when you did a swap, somebody else worked your shift and they got paid and you didn't. Sometimes I would be gone for so long, my supervisor didn't even know I was on their team. I'm saying all that to say I wanted the flying benefit, but I really didn't want to work for the airline. I just wanted the benefit. With United, I was off so much that on payday, I used to owe them. I'm going to say that again. On payday, I used to owe them because I was out traveling, and when you travel, especially first class, they charge you taxes, and it was payroll deduction. Well, if I didn't make any money, I didn't have any payroll. So when it was payday, my check was negative. But that was all good because I was there for the benefit. So, I mean, you guys understand how much travel is in my system. So once I was furloughed from the last airline that I worked for, well, the last airline, Independence Air, they went out of business. And when Kemp came to me with this opportunity, I had just joined a travel club. Now, this travel club was about $3,000, a little over $3,000. We were paying $181 a month. We had a $571 a year maintenance fee just to take trips in the hot weeks like we have with vacation or like we have with our Booking Ninja. The travel club did have a complimentary Hertz Gold membership and some discounts on dining and discounts on cruises, but it wasn't tax deductible or anything like that. But I paid for it because I wanted the discounts. I wanted the travel benefits. So when Kemp came to me with this opportunity, I had only used my travel club once. My husband and I went to Puerto Vallarta on the travel club, and that was it. I signed up with Kemp with vacation because it made sense. If a person likes to travel and they want discounts, it makes sense. Now, if I'm going to pay $3,000 for a travel club, I'm going to pay $181 a month. I'm going to pay $571 a year for maintenance fees. How much easier would it be to get somebody to join the Booking Ninja for $39 and then $29.95 a month to get that and more?
Hold on. So wait a minute. So you're telling me, Miss Travel Diva, you would actually pay $39.95 a month for that Booking Ninja and $29.90 or $39.95 one time and then $29.95 a month for that club.
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? If our targeted market is someone who loves to travel or needs to travel. So if we're looking at people who love to travel or need to travel, it only makes sense. I'm just saying, if my husband and I spent that much money for a travel club just because we like to travel, how much faster would we have joined? I mean, I would have bought 3 or 4 memberships for the Booking Ninja.
Okay. All right. So now we're talking a little bit about value of the and I want to stop here and go back to two things. You were actually in the airline industry. So basically you were actually doing that for more so the benefits of just being able to fly pretty much cheap than what you would actually fly if you weren't a part of the airlines, correct?
Well, for the most part, in most airlines that I worked for, we flew for free. With United, if you flew first class, there was a tax. So, of course, if you have the opportunity to fly coach or fly first class, I mean, I'm going first class. That's the type of diva I am.
Now, let me ask you this. So would you say to those that's listening today, would you say a good prospect perhaps would be a travel agent or airline stewardess? Not a travel agent, but an airline stewardess or somebody that works for the airlines. Would you say it was more people like you that was doing it for the benefits?
Well, I wouldn't say that that is the targeted market because they already have it. Okay, they already have it, so they don't really see the benefit as much as somebody who doesn't have it. And that's what happened with me. When I didn't have it anymore, I went searching for something that would give me something comparable. So, I mean, they could use it. A lot of the travel agents, or shall I say, airline employees, fly for free for the most part, but you still have to pay for your hotels. They do offer airline employee discounts and everything, but travel agent benefits are better than airline employee benefits. I remember when I was an airline employee, I used to look at some of the deals because we had what they call the interline club, and they would offer all kinds of specials, but some of them were for travel agents only. And I remember looking at some of the fam trips and things and saying, I wish I was a travel agent, but I didn't want to work full time. I just wanted to travel. So I never became a travel agent because I just wanted a part time opportunity and something that would allow me flexibility to get out of there and be somewhere on somebody's beach.
Wow, wow, wow. So tell me, based off of once you saw this opportunity, called vacations. Tell us some of the things that you have benefit from since you've been with this company.
Okay. Well, first, I have to do it. You know, I have to vacation. Vacation has allowed me the opportunity to travel, stay in beautiful resorts, have discounts on rental cars, stay in hotels, sometimes for free and everything. And I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have to ask anybody. I am my own boss. I come and go as I please. As a matter of fact, I'm working when I'm doing the things that I want. You're right, Tina. You're right. So I had to do it. I'm sorry. Tina knew exactly what I was talking about. Okay, but so it has really, really allowed me the freedom to come and go as I please and to make money doing what I love to do.
Wow. Now, I remember when you first came into the opportunity and when you got started, you had come to a little hump in the road. Now, let's talk about your beginning, like when you first got started, all of your family and decide all of your friends, all of the stewardess that you work with, did everybody decide to get started with you that day?
No, absolutely not. It was very difficult to get family involved. A lot of my friends didn't get involved, but they watched me. They saw what I was doing, and some of them eventually came around. But you know, I was on a recruiting. Well, let's just say I really didn't understand duplication. My excitement brought quite a few people in, and at the time when you and I had that conversation, I had sponsored 18 people, but I didn't understand how to train them or how to uh, get them to duplicate me. I also was in another city. I wasn't in my home, and my team was back in DC. I was in Tennessee, and it was all new to me. And you know, the bottom line for me was that I just wanted some travel discounts. I mean, that was it. Let's just be completely honest and transparent. Now, I remember coming to you and I said, Kemp, I have 18 people on my team and nobody's doing anything. And I was so excited. I loved it. You know, I was just excited and I couldn't understand why nobody was as excited as I was. And I said, nobody's doing anything. And Kemp said, you know what, Monique, don't worry about it. He said, it just takes one. He said, one person can hit your matrix and blow it up. And I was like, really? And so he said, yeah, it just takes one. The very next day, my nephew called me. He had just signed up with Bruce and Preston with YTB. And they were excited to call me. He knew that I was into travel. And he calls and says, Auntie, I'm in the travel business. I'm like, really? I got excited for him. I'm like, that's awesome. Who are you with? And I thought he was going to say with us, but he said YTB. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because I had looked at YTB. I have another team member that's on this call right now. I'm going to let you remain nameless because I know you're ashamed. But he tried to recruit me to YTB. And I told him about our company. And he said, no, no, this one's better. Until one day he went to go and book a cruise on Royal Caribbean, and they could no longer book Royal Caribbean, and they no longer had an IATA number. So it was just proof. He came on over with me real quickly, and I thank you for that, nameless person. And anyway, um, so when Bruce and Preston and Greg heard about it was called Traveris at the time, uh, they were like, "Oh my God, is this real? If this is real, you better hold on. You better hold on." And so we went through the motions. I called our leader, and he talked to them, and I mean, he had all the answers, and then he put them on the phone with David Manning, and David Manning answered all of their questions, and I just got a text from somebody who says it's okay to say their name. He's not ashamed. Okay, Mr. McKinley Bowman, who has been on my team since 2007, who tried to recruit me to YTB. And thank you again, sir, for being with me for so long and enjoying this wonderful company. But so David Manning talked to Bruce and Preston and Greg, and they were convinced it was the right move, and they came over. And I tell you, it was in January of 2008. They signed up on January 15th. Well, the following week, we had a cruise, a 6-day cruise, and we went from, I think it was January 26th to the 31st. A cruise that only cost me $286. While I'm on that cruise, eating at the buffet and doing the electric slide and having a good time, my back office was lit up like a Christmas tree. I couldn't stay away from that internet cafe or whatever it is, spending up all my money looking in my back office because I had orange and purple and blue and green. It was so much activity. They put 26 people in there in the first week. I came home to a check of $726 for that first week, $532 for the next one, and I did nothing. I mean, I did nothing except for party on the cruise ship. And I mean, that made a believer out of me. And it just kept getting better and better and better. And I mean, I'm here for the long haul. I don't know what else to tell you.
So I remember asking you this question, and I really want you to talk to those that may be a little bit discouraged right now. Um, and you said something about $300. I believe it was $300 or $1,000. It was a number you had gave me, and you was like, if I could just make this amount of money, I would be happy. What was that number you gave me?
Oh yeah, in the very beginning, I was thinking if I could just make $300. And when that happened, I was so excited. Well, I was first excited when I got $32 for real, for real. I was excited. But then, as my income, my residual started to grow, once I got to 300, I mean, I thought I had arrived. But then it just continued to grow and grow and grow. And, I came in for the benefits. But once the money started kicking in, I'm like, okay, I'm in for the benefits, but I'm staying for the money.
Mm. So you said $32. Why were you so excited about the $32?
Because I needed income. I had just moved to Tennessee. I it's a long story, but we left everything. We left everything and moved to Tennessee with my daughter to take care of her baby. She had just had a baby, and she didn't want to leave her baby with anybody. And I didn't want her to either. So we picked up and moved to Tennessee, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to make it. And so every little dime helped.
You know, you often hear a lot of times people look at the big money, like they always look at the 5,000, the $10,000 earners, you know, the $1 million earners, and I was saying to you, I don't think it's enough emphasis put on the $100, the $300. Like we talk about a weekly check, a weekly check. And I remember I told you my mother when I had first started, she had gotten a check for $74. And she has said to me, she said, you know what, Kemp, I'm so excited because I didn't have no money today, but that check came in so on time. It was pathetic. Would do you have any stories that would actually inspire somebody? Because I'm constantly seeing it, because a lot of times people have they have a tendency to measure their performance or compete with people that might be on a higher level, that's probably been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years. So they've developed a thick skin, they've developed different things and things like that. But can you remember a time like that, Monique?
Um, well, I can't say that it's a time like that. I can say that there have been times when every little dime that I made, I really needed it. And I can
Mm.
also say that uh, a lot of times we sit around and we want something big to happen, but we're not willing to do something small to make something big happen. And we really, really have to get out of our comfort zone. I mean, I bet you most people on this call have not really made a list, have not really gone through their email list or their phone uh, list or I mean, they just not done the minimum, the minimum to do something small for something big. And, but we want it to happen. We want something magical to happen. And it just takes a little bit of effort. This company is amazing. The compensation plan is amazing. Some people are a little more lucky than others with who falls in their matrix. But if they just do a small part, if they would just follow the system and not a piece of the system. And I've been guilty of the same thing too. You might talk to somebody or share a little bit with somebody, but you're not utilizing the system. You said something or you explained something, but you didn't show them a video or you didn't put them on a company call or you didn't do a three-way call. You didn't follow what they call the baseball diamond. And you cannot go from home plate straight to third base. You can't without doing hitting first and second, third, and bringing it back home. And it's a lot of people will say, well, it's not working. It's not that it's not working. You're not working it. And it's not that you can't work it. It's just that you don't work it.
Wow, wow. What are some of the ways that you would actually? What were some of the ways that you would actually sponsor people into the business, or maybe book somebody's trip? What were some of the things you would do?
Well, for me, because my passion is travel and my excitement is travel, when I approach somebody about travel, and the opportunity to be able to make money off travel, people feed from my excitement. So usually I will present the travel. But first, I talk to people and I find out what they want. I'm a dolphin or I'm a sapphire. I have the type of personality where all I want to do is have fun.
Mhm.
I might be talking to somebody who is like my husband, he's a pearl. He's a person who cares about everybody else, making sure everybody is okay. Does everybody have what they need? And he puts himself last. I if I talk to him about just having fun, I'm not going to reach him. I'm not going to be speaking his language. I need to talk to him about how he could use this opportunity to help somebody else. Or if I'm speaking to somebody who is a go-getter and they're very competitive and they just want to win and they just want to make the most money and everything, if I'm talking to them about having fun, I'm not going to reach them. So what I had to learn was to talk to people and listen and then begin to speak their language. Because if you don't, it, it's a moot point. They don't get it. But once you find out what's important to them, and then you show them how you have the solution to whatever their issue is, it helps move them along the process.
Hmm. Wow. 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 Well, I got to move on because I have a question that I have been dying to ask you. Me being Monique's upline, I remember going into your back office, and you just had I know it was well over $10,000 that was just sitting in your e-wallet, just sitting there. It wasn't like, and every time we go, how important is to actually have, like, you leave money in your e-wallet? Is it because of the some of the trips that come up? What is the reason for you to have that much money sitting in your daggone account?
Well, can I just tell you things change? So the season has changed, and I do not have that much sitting in my e-wallet right now. But I had it sitting in there because if there was a trip that I wanted to go on, I would just do. I would pay for it right there. If it was something else, I would just pay for it, and I love that. And I can't wait until I build that back up again.
So you definitely do a lot of traveling, and I know you definitely live up to your name. Why do they need to use this travel business? Why do they need to use the product? Why do you need to use the product?
You need to use, well, first of all, I don't care what business you're in, you have to be a product of the product. That is number one. Whatever it is, whatever you have, you need to be a product of that product. That way you're convinced that you have a great product. If it works for you, then you don't have a problem sharing it with other people. But for our business, travel, first of all, it's relaxing, it's fun, it's they say doctors even prescribe vacation for some people. So we need to utilize our product so that we can share it with other people. How are you going to be a travel agent, but you've not gone anywhere? You haven't experienced anything. You can do it, but you would be much more convincing if somebody says something or mentions a place and you light up because you've been there and you've had a wonderful experience.
What has been your best experience trip?
Oh my God. Now you're talking to somebody who has traveled for years. And I've been to some of the most beautiful, exotic places in the world. So I I really don't know. Um, I do have a quick story that I want to share this because this gentleman is in the room right now. Um, I went to Rio de Janeiro to this event called Rio Rendezvous. And it was amazing. It was amazing. We had a lot of things that were included. Trip to Corcovado, the Christ statue, Sugarloaf Mountain. Um, it was an amazing trip to Rio de Janeiro. So I'm working at United Airlines, and I had two people that I had become very close with. One of them is in this room right now. His name is Michael Bradley. So we were in training, and it was the end of training, and management had come into the room to ask us what did we like best or why were we there. Everybody else was in the room being fake and phony about whatever reason they were there. And when he got to me, I was like, I'm here for the travel benefits. And so Michael said, I'm here for the travel benefits. And we're sitting side by side, he and I and another young lady that had become really close with us. And so once they moved past us, I was like, really? You like to travel like that? And he was like, yeah. And so we started talking about some of the places we had been. And so when I said, yeah, I went to Rio de Janeiro, he said, me too. I go there all the time. I said, yeah, I was just there in March of '94. He was like, I was there too. I was like, what? I was like, well, I was at the thong contest on the beach. He was like, I was there. And I was like, well, I was at so and so. He was like, I was there. And we're sitting there looking at each other. We didn't know each other from Adam, but we were at the same place. So later that day, I went to his house after work, and my husband was in his pictures. And when I went home and looked through my pictures, he was in our pictures.
Wow.
Now, isn't that incredible?
Yes, yes, that's so serious. How all right, okay. I always notice that you not only do you participate in a lot of the vendors events, but I also see you going to a lot of industry events outside of things that vacation may be doing. Like you go to travel show, like you do a lot of outside things. I know you just got back from Vegas at their travel conference, if I'm not mistaken, not too long ago. Just understanding and keeping up with what is going on in the industry. How important is that?
It's very important to stay abreast with what's going on in the industry and meeting the BDMs and different representatives that they have out there, learning more about the products and things. If you're really interested in travel, I know that some of us are more interested in team building, some of us are not interested in team building at all. But if you're interested in the travel side, it is best that you learn more about the industry to make you a better travel agent. And I do want to be completely honest because before um, I was mostly interested in travel for myself. I had spent a lot of years working for the airline industry, and when I got with this company, um, I did not want to do a lot of booking travel. I just wanted to travel for myself. And now that I've been in for such a long time and I know that I never want to work another 9 to 5, I'm so much more interested in travel and learning and seeing how much commission you can make. As a matter of fact, one of my team members who's on the call now, Mr. McKinley Bowman, he specializes in cruises. And so he's made a lot of commission in cruises. And he learns about the cruise industry, and that's what he does most. And so, depending on what you like, I think that you should invest more time learning more about it and going to those vendors events. I went to the home-based travel agent event, and not only that, but it's a lot of fun, very educational, and they give away some great prizes. So you have the opportunity to win some great trips as well.
Oh, so you won some trips as well?
Haven't had my chance to win there yet. Not yet, but I'm looking forward to it. My husband and I sit there and look real crazy while until they draw the last name, waiting.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about the residual. Now you said you like the team building and things of that nature, and let's talk about the residual income. And I know first we're going to go back to how long have you been with this company? Since what date did you sign up?
I signed up August the 28th, 2007.
August the 28th, 2007. And have you ever have any of your checks ever bounced or anything like that?
Oh no, I've never had a bounce check, and I've never um, not been paid. I've never had to pay for my own website. I remember you and I used to say, well, if we ever got to the point where we had to pay, we have to think about this because we went to work and started building a team so that we wouldn't have to pay. And it's just what everybody can do, whether you build a team so that you don't have to pay out of your pocket, or whether you book travel so that you don't have to pay out of your pocket. There's no reason that you have to pay out of your pocket. And I would suggest everybody to find whatever it is they like or whatever they want to do, and so that their business can just run on autopilot.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this question. So you're saying since 2007, you have never paid a monthly fee.
Never.
So that's possible.
I sponsored 3 people in my first week, so that started things off for me.
Never ever paid out of your pocket. Okay. Now, let me ask you this question. Um, when you look at the taxes, has this benefited you any way with your taxes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, too. You know, when I worked for the airline, I flew for free. I might have gotten hotel discounts or car rental discounts, but it was not tax deductible. Had I known, even when I was presented opportunities with other companies like Amway or things like that, I would have taken advantage because I had no idea. And then being a travel agent, you're eligible for so many more tax benefits than you are with even some other companies. And I
So,
did also want to mention too, with our Booking Ninja, I was looking at that. I'm thinking, if a person paid for our Booking Ninja for an entire year, it's about $360 or something like that. When you think of what the Booking Ninja has to offer and
mm,
the discounts you can get, it is so worth having that Booking Ninja and also offering it to other people. That it's we've got something with that.
hmm. And you can shop at the places that you shop and get reward points and also use that to pay for some of your airline and all of that good stuff as well, depending on how much you shop, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why I'm asking her these questions is because I really want you to hear from somebody who has been in the industry. I know it's a lot of times that you hear stuff on the internet, stuff you'll hear, and I'm not going to say that we haven't been through our ups and downs and all about, but at the end of the day, is there any company out there, and I'm asking this question to anybody that's listening, is there any company that's out there that don't go through its ups and downs? That's the question. The second question is there any company that doesn't make changes throughout the day? I mean, when you talk about it, seasonal changes, we might have to change this for the fall, things of that. That's called business, right? Everybody goes through that. When you look at a company that has been around now for, it has to be, I'm going on 10 years myself, that has to say a lot about the company that you're with, right? Because you can hear stuff all of the time, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe that there is a trip that Monique has been on. I don't believe there's a check that she has gotten. I don't believe there's not a residual that didn't pay some of the bills for her. But at the end of the day, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You have a rock solid company. Now, you'll hear what she said. It's really what you make of the opportunity. I'm going to be doing a training in about an hour here in Philadelphia, and I'm really going to talk about value. But how valuable has Paycations been for you? And we're going to sum it up right here and just share how valuable this company has been for you and why you're still excited about this opportunity.
Well, the company has been very, very valuable for me. And one thing that I want to say about this vacation experience is it's best to just keep moving forward. Um, Set your goals and desires ahead of you and just continue to strive towards them because everything that glitters ain't gold. So there are other opportunities that's popping up, and there are people over there, and they're trying to bash this company and that company, but the grass is not always greener on the other side. And even if it is, if you just nurture it a little bit, put a little water on it and everything, your grass can be just as green. And I know David Manning's heart, and I know that he cares about this company and his distributors. And I mean, he's not in it for a quick buck. He
Hmm.
told us in the very, very beginning that he wanted to build a legacy company that he could leave to his children and his grandchildren, and one that we could leave to ours as well. And I know he's had to make some hard decisions, and some of them have not been all that popular with the masses, but I do trust with everything in me that he does what he does for the well being of the company. So, I mean, I'm here for the long haul. Until David Manning tells me himself, Monique, you got to go, I'm not going anywhere. This company is everything to me.
Wow. All right, let's give a round of applause for National Executive Miss Travel Diva Monique. And at the end of the day, if anybody can tell you they used everything, she done used everything. Member trips, she done. I think her first trip was a member. She told you about the cruises. We met on a cruise ship for the first. Wasn't it on a cruise ship? I believe we met. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, people are traveling. Families are traveling. Kids are traveling. Vacation is working. It is giving you an income to the point that you can travel, commissions you can make. When you look at it, 75% of the commissions. I said this the other day. I don't know if you know it or not. Warren Buffett, watch this. Warren Buffett just took out $900 million out of Walmart. $900 from Walmart. What do you think the partners are saying right now? But guess what? Did Walmart say, let's close the door? Or whatever the case may be. We see it coming, we see it go, and hopefully a testimony has been shared with you today that inclines and helps your belief, because you have an opportunity in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can live the lifestyle that you want. You can create your own lifestyle and your freedom. And I can promise you this, if you stick and stay, you will get your pay. If you don't do nothing but take a trip, you're going to have a vacation and then have our Uncle Sam pay for that trip as well. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you have an incredible. And first of all, let me not be remiss. Mr. Stephen King, the half of Miss National Executive Miss Travel Diva is in the room, and we want to definitely give it up for this gentleman, because when you see Miss Travel Diva, you will see Mr. King right there supporting her every step of the way. And I definitely want to say thank you to that gentleman, because let me tell you, that's mama, that's papa. They always there no matter what they can do to help somebody. If you see them on a trip, you can best believe they out there to make sure that we take it care of. Thank you to this great couple. Thank you. You guys have an incredible afternoon. We'll see you if you're in Philadelphia. I want to see you at Super Saturday, because that's where I'm on my way to. God bless. Take care. Take charge and take control over your life, because guess what? Vacation is the truth and the light, and it will set you free, because I'm a living witness, and Miss National Executive Miss Travel Diva is also a living witness as well. Take care.